Welcome back to Instables, everyone. So I'm going to go up to you guys in the S&P 500. We have a very important CPI data report coming out tomorrow, 1 hour before market open. Our previous CPI was at 8.5, so we are looking for a decrease in CPI. Our prior CPI was at 9.1. Prior to that was at 8.6, so we did get a decrease in CPI recently, now at 8.5, looking for a continuation on decreases in CPI to get a continuation on decreases in inflation. That is what Powell and the Feds do want to see leading into September's Fed rate hike next week, where the Feds will decide exactly what rate hike we do get. Our prior two rate hikes were at 75 basis points, so we are looking for a decrease in rate hikes, which again, a lot of the Feds have been mentioning that that's very much off the table, that we're not going to have a decrease in rate hikes, but a lot of other Feds have been mentioning that we could possibly have that continuation on decrease in rate hikes. We are gapping up on anticipation on a continuation on decreases in CPI. Again, this gap down that we had here that we have been talking about, that we were looking to see if we can play into, again, breaking above our 404 level here on our 0.5 fib was exactly what we're looking for to see if we can continue to gap up, is the point when Powell did speak a couple weeks ago. So we are very much gapping into that gap down that we had when Powell did speak. So now we are looking to see if we can continue on with this momentum. I'm going to go over all this with you guys. So now we're looking to see exactly where we may be headed next. I'm going to go over exactly which levels we're leading into and what exactly our overall strength is here. Now, before I jump into this, if you guys can do me a huge favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you want to see more chart updates on potential breakouts or market updates that we mention every single day throughout the week. And if you guys are day traders or you are looking for intraday perspective breakouts like we had here with INM, as you guys can see, we had a pre-market high at 15.14. We were looking to see if we can continue on past it. We did continue on past it out the gate here. A nice quick play here that we did have, and then we were looking to see if we can continue on into newer highs on the day. And as you guys can see, we did continue on into newer highs. We continue to respect our 20-day moving average here, and we did continue on higher. And we did mention very high risk at this point in time. Mentioned stopped out a little early here to make sure we did stay green, and sure enough, we did continue on lower from there. And we did even come up at the end of the day. We did not mention this. We did get a fake out, and we did not break out here. Again, these are the type of breakouts that we like to avoid trying to chase, and these are the type of breakouts that we like to get early to in the Instables room. Again, if you guys do want to see these major breakouts that we mention every single day in the Instables room, go to instables.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today again. So jumping into the daily chart with you guys here on the SPY, as you guys can see, again, we did have a nice gap up, breaking above our trend line that we did track from yesterday. Looking to see if we can hold 408. Mentioned that I would stop out if we did drop down below 404. We never did drop down below 404. We actually opened just at about 408, did continue on higher on the day. A very nice gap up that we had on the day, and then a slight pullback. Very much looking to see if we can continue on with this momentum as we are anticipating a decrease in CPI. Again, our recent CPI was twice as low as our two prior CPIs. So again, very much anticipating that decrease in CPI as we did mention yesterday. As you guys can see, as far as our strength, we do have again our decrease in sell pressure that we have been mentioning. Again, very high risk to play to the downside when we are decreasing in sell pressure. As you guys can see, again, we did mention our continuation on that decrease in sell pressure. And as you guys can see, for the last few days, we have been gapping up with that continuation on decreases in sell pressure. Now looking to see if we can get our EMA lines, as you guys can see here, our 12 and our 26 very close to crossing. We do want to see them cross. We do want to see if they both can start to curl up, if the 12 can cross back over the 26 as we are continuing on past the median of our MACD. That would be that ultimate strength move that we're looking for here. Again, very much predicated on exactly what CPI comes out as. If CPI were to come out at 7.5, for example, a large decrease, then you'll have markets anticipating a possible major decrease in CPI. Again, the Feds want to see inflationary economy, and that's just not exactly what everybody's expecting to happen anytime soon. So again, a larger decrease in CPI will give us a stronger move depending on exactly how low it is. Now looking at our relative strength, as you guys can see, not too much of an event here. We are testing the median of our RSI, very much predicated exactly on what CPI comes out as. We could possibly have a possible pullback after CPI. If we do get an increase in CPI, possibly look to see if we are going to drop down below the median of our RSI if we do get an increase in CPI, and then possibly looking to see if we can test oversold territory from there. That is, again, that bearish play that I would be looking for if we did get that increase in CPI. But if we did get that decrease in CPI that's expected, then in my opinion, we are looking to see if we can jump above our previous peak that we had on our bounce before we did continue on lower. Again, jumping out of overbought territory, in my opinion, we do need to make sure we can at least jump above this bounce point that we had to see if we can at least jump back into overbought territory for, again, that continuation on momentum. Now, one thing I do like is that we are on a gap up and we are not overbought. So again, we do have room to run to the upside if we do again get that decrease in CPI CPI. Again, those two levels to the upside that I'm looking to see if we can continue on past is to see if we can hold for at 13, and then we will be looking to see if we can continue on past our strong level that we had that pullback from, again, when Powell spoke a couple weeks ago at 420. Again, we do have Fed rate hikes going into next week. We'll see exactly what happens leading into that Fed rate hike, but again, very much predicated on exactly what happens going into tomorrow with CPI. Will give us our anticipation. Again, everything that we're looking at here, this data has a lot to do with anticipation leading into Fed rate hikes. It's to get that possible decrease in rates that, again, a lot of Feds, like I said, are not exactly anticipating for us to have. But if we do get a decrease in inflation, then we could essentially assume that our next Fed rate hike could be a possible 50 basis point hike versus our recent 2 that we've had at 75 basis points. And then if we have another at 75 basis points with a continuation on decreases in inflation, we almost can, again, anticipate that we can have a possible decrease in rates, and that is what the market is anticipating. Now, the levels I really don't want to see us continue on down below is here at 408. We do not want to continue on down below 408, in my opinion, or we could possibly gap down here and possibly test our previous candle that we had here at 406, and then from there we would be looking to see if we can hold 404. So again, like I said, very much predicated on exactly what CPI comes out as. Again, our recent CPI at 8.5, very much looking for that continuation on decreases in CPI, so we can possibly continue on with this momentum above 14 to possibly test the upper end of our pullback that we had here at 420. But again, making sure we are getting confirmation here, making sure we get that confirmation with tomorrow's CPI will be very key. Again, just keeping in mind that a lot of this gap up was a lot of pricing in on CPI possibly being lower as it is expected, because again, like I said, our recent CPI was lower than 2 prior CPIs. So again, nice momentum here, looking to see if we can continue on with that momentum going into tomorrow. Again, that is exactly what we're looking for here. Again, just making sure we are staying focused on our levels, our strength, and our candle structure here is exactly what we will continue to focus on. Again, just a quick reminder, a very nice breakout that we had with our engulfing candle from support here. And then as you guys can see, we also did have our initial bounce that we had here from support. A very nice play on both plays here from support. Now looking to see if we can continue on with this gap up. And I am still holding. Again, I did mention yesterday I'm holding. I would not sell unless we did go below 404. We did not drop down below 404, so I am still holding. We will see exactly what CPI brings. Again, if for some reason CPI is extremely higher than we expected and we come down below 408, then I may even take profits at the point in time. We'll see exactly what happens. But again, just looking to see if we can continue on past 413. Our 0.786 fib is what we're looking for next to continue on higher. Now, again, with that said, like I said, we mentioned very volatile breakouts like we mentioned with INM. Again, mentioned from pre-market at 15.14, looking to see if we can break continue highs. Broke up all the way up to $18. I believe it was 19 going to extended hours on a fake breakout. We did not mention it. However, we will keep INM on the watch. Again, a major breakout that we had, but again, these major breakouts tend to possibly continue. We're going to see if we can hold $20 with INM to continue. We will see exactly what happens there. And of course, we will mention that in the Instabills room if we do get confirmation. And again, all of you Instabills that come over every single day and support the channel, just making sure we are staying patient. Again, a very nice bounce play here that we had here on the SPY. If you guys have been playing this, a very nice continuation today above 408. If you guys did see that level from yesterday, and again, that trend line, if we did, again, follow that trend line, then we did break above it. A very nice continuation on the day. And again, just making sure we are staying cautious leading into CPI tomorrow morning. We will be digesting CPI after CPI. That will be the key. So we'll see exactly how we digest if we do continue on higher with that decrease in inflation, hopefully going into tomorrow. And again, if you guys do like this video, it does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless every one of you guys, and I'll see you guys in pre-market.